So let's bring in Border Czar, Tom Homan. Good to have you with us, sir. Thank you for being here. So we've got body armor, we have ARs, we have Faraday bags to protect the cell phones that they were using, pamphlets in the car, 20 to 30 rounds at the officer. What do you make of the organization and sophistication level of this? And what are you doing to protect your agents in light of these attacks?
Well, look, unfortunately, Martha, I said over 2 months ago, I said on your network, numerous networks, I do a lot of interviews, I said over 2 months ago, if the rhetoric continues against ICE agents and Border Patrol agents about being compared to terrorists, like Congressman Jay Paul did, being compared to Nazis and racists, that it's going to end with a use of force that either a criminal is going to die or an officer is going to die. I've seen this recipe before. I knew it was coming, and I don't think it's over. And look, this is a well-planned attack, as the person said, and we're investigating on the connections between the Texas incident and the incident at the Alvarado facility, the two incidents of Border Patrol and ICE. There are some connections, but I'm not going to get in the middle of that criminal investigation. It's ongoing. But it's a well-planned attack, and it's because of the rhetoric. These nuts that want to take it beyond protest into criminal activity, they're getting rhetoric from the members of Congress, the senators who compare ICE to the Nazis, and Congressman Jay Paul compared to the terrorist organizations. So these people, these fringe groups, feel emboldened. If a member of Congress can attack ICE, why can't we? So in response to this, ICE facilities, the security protocol has been heightened to the highest levels, along with Border Patrol facilities. And but here's what they need to understand. We're not going to stop enforcing immigration law. President Trump made a promise to the American people to secure the border. We had the most secure border in the history of the nation today. Now we got a lot of illegal alien, criminal, public safety threats, national security threats we need to find and remove. This is not going to slow us down. We're going to do this job.
Well, obviously, your agents are in very difficult positions. In some of these cases, these officers were unarmed, and they've got, someone coming at them with an AR-15. So that's a very bad situation. It reminds me in some ways of what we saw with the Weather Underground, killing police officers. So we got to be very aware. Very different situations, different claims that both sides are making, but we got to be very careful about the officers in these situations. I want to ask you about the effort for immigration, because it has moved in some cases from worst of the worst to anyone who is here illegally. And here's what President Trump said about it today in the cabinet meeting.
There's no amnesty. What we're doing is we're getting rid of criminals, but we are doing a work program. We've got to give the farmers the people they need, but we're not talking amnesty.
So is it hands off of farm workers in places like California right now? Is that the message? Because there was a time when there was a real push to up the numbers of those that were removed from the country. So where does that stand now?
Well, look, the president, he's been very vocal. He wants to do something with farm work and the hospitality industry. So there's some discussions ongoing with that now. I'm not going to get ahead of the president on those decisions. But worksite enforcement, it's like everything else we do. It's based on prioritization. Worksite enforcement, there's a lot of criminal leads on worksite enforcement, whether it concerns sex trafficking or forced labor trafficking, abuse of the aliens that are working for them. And so we concentrate on the criminal aspect of worksite enforcement. They're always going to remain the priority. So worksite enforcements continue, but based on prioritization. But there is some discussion going on about farmers. I'm not going to get ahead of the president on that, but I know the discussion.
So there's going to be a work program for people who are here illegally?
I don't think that decision has been made yet. Again, I don't want to get ahead of the president of that decision. But one thing I want to talk about, when you mentioned that we're getting beyond the worst of the worst, actually we're not. But like the MacArthur Park, you covered with Mr. Hilton, why were they there? Because MacArthur Park is a staging area for alien smuggling activities, which is a felony. And if you want to buy a fake green card or a fake Social Security card, you go to MacArthur Park. That's been like that for decades.
Do you think those people got a heads up because it was cleared out by the time they got there?
The operation got leaked.
Yeah.